Well, it's 9 o'clock, so we'll call this special meeting of the Commissioners Court of Titus County to order. We'll rise for the invocation. And Brother Lonnie Bell, appreciate you. You want to come right over here? You're loud enough either way. Like, I didn't mean that in a bad way.
Let us bow. Oh God, our Father, we come before you on this another day that you have given to us that was not promised. And Lord, we say thank you. And Lord, we ask that you forgive us of all of our sins and unrighteousness. And Lord, we pray a blessing upon this, your commissioners court, and all who are assembled, that things be done decent and in order. We ask, Lord, that you take hold of the reins of our minds and move us from one good degree of grace to another. And, oh Lord, we pray that whatever is done on today is done for the benefit of your people all over this county, all over this city. And, Lord, we pray that when this life that we live is over, that you'll give us a place in the kingdom that only you can give, and that every day shall be Sunday and Sabbath shall have no end. And we shall be careful to give you praise, honor, and glory. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Brother Lonnie. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number 1 will be public comments and requests for information on non-agenda items in accordance with section 551.042 of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Have anyone would like to speak in the opens?
I would. Last commissioner meeting we had deal with the fire deal, and Mr. Hargrove, you was here with us, and if you had a question or we need to answer, don't put it on Facebook. I would appreciate it. Come to us. Regardless of what me and my wife are, we don't work together. And whoever you was talking about, significant others, it was wrong for you to do that. And if you got a problem with the Commissioner's Court, I wish you would talk to us about it instead of going on Facebook. That's all.
Anyone else? Ed, welcome. Good morning. Is that microphone on? Can you check and see if that microphone's on there?
There it is. There, no?
Yeah, okay. Just making sure everybody can hear you.
Well, good morning. I appreciate you allowing me to take a couple of minutes of your time. By the way, Commissioner Applewhite, I didn't see you smile one time this morning until the county treasurer walked in, so I just wanted to make sure.
Do what now?
I'm not sure what that's about. No, last Commissioner's Court, I believe there was some things said. You guys talked about the separating the emergency management coordinator, having your own. And there was a couple things that I think were said and even reported in the paper that I thought was not quite correct. So I thought I would just come and see if I can't correct the record a little bit here. The first one was I heard the recording and it was said that by Commissioner Mitchell that Ed Thatcher was in favor of separating the two, and I don't think that's. I know that's not correct. I think we had a meeting and you all expressed your concerns, and if my good nature or trying to be kind and not wanting to get into the debate made you think that I was in favor of that. I think I did say that I thought sometimes during the commissioners' meetings when the chief would come and talk about the volunteers, I was a little concerned because it made it look like the city was concerned about that. So I did call, I think I told you this, I called Judge Lee and asked him about it, and he said, no, he's doing what I want him to do, and so we left it at that. We did say in that meeting, though, that we understand that it's really the judge and the commissioner's decision, and we're fine with that. and just by a notice, 30-day notice that separation, that's fine, and we're okay. I just don't want people to think the reason you did it is because Ed Thatcher said to do it.
That's exactly not true. That's for sure. So that's not the reasoning at all.
Then the other one, it was noted in the paper, said even the city agrees with this, and I need to tell you that the city council doesn't agree with that. And of course they haven't voted on it, but and maybe there's one or two that do, but the majority would rather have it together. They think it's the most efficient way to do it. So those two errors I just wanted to correct here in the public meeting. And I do want to say I appreciate all you do. We work together well.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate the work you do and everything. So I just wanted to just say thank you very much for all you do for us.
We appreciate you, Ed. Appreciate you coming and enjoy working with you and the city as well.
Thank you, Mr. Ed.
By the way, I filled out one of these papers. That's probably for an agenda item.
You're good. We're not going to throw you out of office.
Well, let me just say that I'm for the treasurer's report being approved and you paying your bill. So
Thank you, sir. Anybody else in the open comments would like to speak? Okay, we'll move on to number 2. Consider and possibly approve the minutes from the June 12th, 2023 regular meeting of the Commissioners Court.
Make a motion we approve.
Got a motion by Commissioner Parker to approve those minutes.
Second.
Got a second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 3, consider and possibly approve the adoption of the Texas PACE program for Titus County at the request of local Bounti Corp and Mount Pleasant Economic Development Corporation.
Judge, Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Doug Taylor. I'm with the Texas PACE Authority, and you have a handout in front of you that provides an overview of how the PACE program in Texas works. I filled out a form as well, if you need that later. So PACE stands for Property Assessed Clean Energy. First page. This is a financing program that allows property owners, commercial property owners, industrial property owners to make investments that save them energy and water over the long run and do it through a long-term financing vehicle. It's a program that's authorized under state statute, Chapter 399 of the Local Government Code. It's a local opt-in program, so cities and counties can establish PACE at the time that they feel that that's appropriate or they have a request from a property owner. We have 90 cities and counties around the state that have adopted PACE and created programs. In this general part of the state, that includes Hopkins County, Smith County, Bowie County, cities of Greenville, Commerce, Paris, and Clarksville. So again, usually what happens is a property owner will approach the city or the county and say, can you create the structure so we can access long-term financing for our project? The types of improvements that are eligible, anything that saves energy or water or reduces usage or demand. So that could be things that save kilowatt hours, but also things that reduce kilowatts or kW consumption, as well as any kind of water technology. This provides, again, it's longer-term financing than conventionally is available through banks and lenders for equipment. It's secured through an assessment lien on the property that the owner agrees to, and so that provides the collateral, the long-term financing, and a longer financing term. Again, we have 90 programs in the state, about 73% of the population covered. The process to adopt PACE, and there's a slide here that outlines this. There are 2 steps that are outlined in statute. First of all, a lot of times we'll do a public briefing, which is what this is today. Then a report on how the program works gets posted on the website for any sort of public comment or inspection. We have provided that report. It's a standard format that's been used by all the cities and counties. After that, the court can consider a resolution of intent, and that resolution of intent has a public hearing date in it. And so that could be a next action. That public hearing is required, provides an opportunity for any members of the public to provide comments. After that, the court can consider a resolution to establish the program and then select the administrator. That's what we do. We're a nonprofit. We run the PACE programs, again, for 90 cities and counties around the state. Our role is just that. We're extended staff for the county. We don't provide the financing. We don't do the contracting. We are not otherwise involved in the project. We're essentially the quality control element that ensures that the transactions all meet the letter of the law. There are some underwriting criteria that help ensure that the projects actually save energy and water as intended. There's a savings to investment ratio that we look at that's based on engineering standards. There is a third-party Texas licensed PE that reviews those savings to ensure that the projects are going to perform. There is a maximum loan amount, 25%, so that owners don't get overextended. And then if there's any sort of a senior loan or mortgage on the property, that senior loan holder has to provide consent for a PACE loan. The development process is kind of outlined. There's 2 phases, pre-application and scoping, and then post-application and quality control. We've had a number of projects around the state, ranging from the smallest being $68,000, the largest $40 million, nonprofit, hospitality, you name it. Some examples here in the back. Navarro County, they took an abandoned warehouse, put that back into service for textiles manufacturing, replaced the HVAC and lighting. Elgin General Store added solar panels to the roof to reduce electricity consumption, secured some USDA grant funding as well as utility funding for that. There's a new kind of multi-purpose cinema under construction south of Dallas that went above minimum code for all the performance requirements for their energy and water systems and are using PACE for that. Barfield Building in Amarillo was an old downtown building that had fallen into disrepair that's now a really state-of-the-art boutique hotel that the developer used PACE for part of that funding. And finally, there's a synagogue. PACE has been used quite a bit for nonprofits, for houses of worship. That obviously we have cash flow challenges in our churches, and so this is a way to replace those mechanical systems that can be badly needed. About $400 million in PACE investment throughout the history of the program, and it's really a win-win-win in the back for all parties with no cost and no risk to the county for offering it. So I'll stop there and see if there's questions.
One question, our attorney that does our tax collection just spoke with Ms. Stevens, our tax collector, and he does want to talk on that, can't be here today. So with that being said, one other thing that I'm curious of, I don't know about the other commissioners, if we do put the plan in this plan into our program and we lock along and it's not going good for us, I know we can't get out of the ones that we've already okayed, but can we go back and get out of the plan, not have any more come in on the plan?
Absolutely, yeah. Just as
not locked for life is what I'm asking, I guess.
Yes, it's at the court's discretion. So just as you would adopt a resolution to create the program, you could adopt a resolution to undo the undo the program. I'm not sure what the right word is, but
cancel it.
Cancel it. Yes.
I mean, I understand any program that we had already under that would stay under that, but that way if we get in it and something happens and we're not really moving towards it.
Right. Yeah.
With our other meetings, I wasn't positive on that and just wanted to make that point clear.
Yeah, so any transaction that has been approved essentially would be at that point between the owner and the lender that's providing the financing like any other loan.
Right.
And that would remain in place. But any future ones, if the county decided to cancel the program, there wouldn't be a program for them to use. Yes, sir.
Thank you for that, sir. Any questions?
So no action requested today, just a briefing, and if this is something the court wants to pursue, then the next step would be the resolution of intent, which could be considered at the next meeting, and we have the sworn documents.
Right. Nathan's here today with you. Nathan, I understand that this is for the Bounti out there. They're in the city limits, so that's, yes, it would help, but we don't have to. Are they in a time frame that they're requirement that they need?
Yes, they're actively working with a financial institution.
Right.
And kind of waiting for the Commissioner's Court decision, given sort of signal on how they're restructuring their debt. And so, and as mentioned in our letter earlier,
Right, right. But that is actually a city location for them, so makes no difference whether we move forward with that or not. Is that not correct?
Other than it won't be available countywide.
Right, but it will be available for them.
Well, we have to approach the city if the county doesn't want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, the program typically is created either at the city or the county level. If it's at the county level, then any property within the county can access it, including within
Right,
the
city or not, right. Okay. We appreciate you coming today. Thanks so much, sir.
Thank you.
Number 4, presentation by Wendell Atkins. Discuss the removal of Chief McRae as Emergency Manager Coordinator for Titus County. Wendell?
For those who don't know me, my name is Wendell Akins. I'm a lifelong resident of Titus County. I want to thank the Office of the County Judge for allowing me to be on the agenda to speak on this subject. I have prepared a written statement that I'd like to read in its entirety, and then I'll be open to any questions or discussions you may have.
Absolutely.
My concern I bring before this court, particularly for the 3 commissioners who voted to remove Larry McRae as the Emergency Management Coordinator for Titus County, is this. Why wouldn't you want the best qualified person who is also the Emergency Management Coordinator for the city? And please don't give me this conflict of interest excuse. This position is not related to the contract between the city and the county for fire protection services. The city of Mount Pleasant is part of the county, and so why wouldn't the two be on the same page when it comes to disaster planning and management under the guidance of the same man? As small as Titus County is, there is no need for 2 plans and 2 separate emergency management coordinators, as Commissioner Jimmy Parker stated at the last meeting. There is no one on the local level within miles of here more qualified to be the emergency management coordinator for Titus County than Larry McRae. He has 49 years of service in the fire service. He's the last 39 years as the fire chief. During his years of service, he has responded to over 10,000 incidents in the Mount Pleasant-Titus County area. For the past 20 years, he has been the emergency management coordinator for the city, and for the past 18 years, the coordinator for the county. He has trained, studied, and achieved certifications in all aspects of emergency services, not just fire service, but hazardous material incidents, rescue dive operations, and weather-related emergencies, just to name a few. He has personally responded and functioned with other cities and counties throughout the state during hurricanes and wildfires. After 9/11, he coordinated with local, state, and federal agencies on terrorism preparations to protect not only our vital infrastructures, but our citizens. And after the COVID outbreak, he coordinated with area and state health organizations. It is his communications plans and his pursuing of grant money to finance the purchase of communications equipment that allows all agencies, not just within Mount Pleasant and Titus County, but area-wide, the ability to communicate with each other. This includes cooperating with our schools' administrations on active shooter preparations and accidents involving their buses. I personally am aware that Superintendent of Mount Pleasant Independent School District, Judge Marshall, and members of the school board respect and support Chief McRae and are upset on hearing of your recent decision for removal. Just these past weeks, due to the aftermath and the power outage of recent storms, his pre-planning allowed for the deployment of 100+ cots already in storage to be set up in a local school gymnasium to provide sleeping facilities for the power company employees that were assigned to this area. The plan also provided for the distribution of ice for our citizens that were without power. Sometimes managing an incident is more about knowing who to contact for help and for those resources. Larry McRae has developed multitudes of contacts over the years. I have had the privilege of knowing this man for 43 years. When I was a paramedic here at Titus Regional Medical Center, working for the EMS program, My partner and I were on the same rotation with McRae when he was a captain and his partner, responding to both fire and auto accidents. I recently retired from the Mount Pleasant Fire Department after 30 years of service, where I served under Chief McRae's command. Under his guidance and encouragement, I attended the Fire Academy, 8 summer training sessions at the A&M Fire School. I became a certified advanced firefighter, a certified wildland firefighter, a level 2 instructor, including the certification coordinator for the City of Mount Pleasant Fire Department, a hazardous material technician, and a certified rescue diver. I was Rookie of the Year in 1985, and I rose through the ranks to eventually becoming the Assistant Fire Chief over the Volunteer Division under Chief McRae's command. So, Your Honor and Commissioners, I am very aware of the nature of emergencies and very aware of Larry McRae's background, qualifications, and ability to coordinate and manage those emergencies. And it's not just me. Chief McRae is well known, not only locally, but also on the state and national levels, often being consulted by others for his guidance. The state of Texas is currently divided into 9 regional all-hazard incident management teams. Region 1 includes Titus County and 39 other counties. Who is the state-appointed leader of Team 1, Region 1? Larry McRae. So if the state respects, supports, and relies on him, why shouldn't this county? When I was employed as Director of Emergency and Trauma Services for Paris Regional Medical Center and later Hopkins County Memorial Hospital, I served on the Northeast Texas Regional Advisory Council, which is composed of 9 hospital districts. As we were planning to upgrade our disaster plans and our ability to communicate not only within our individual hospitals but area-wide, who did we consult? Larry McRae. So again, I'm going to ask my initial question. Other than some animosity there may be for Larry McRae, why wouldn't you want the best qualified person who is also the emergency management coordinator for the city? The two should go hand in hand. There is no conflict of interest here, and this court has not provided enough actual proof of that conflict. Commissioner Parker even questioned that claim of conflict of interest. And you heard from Mr. City Manager Thatcher today that there was not this, he did not claim there was a conflict. Chief McRae is not in this for the money. Larry can make more money sitting at home with his retirement and or as a professional consultant. He does this job because he cares about the citizens of Mount Pleasant and Titus County. And my next question is, who do you plan to replace him with? And what is that person's qualifications? I have heard rumors of whom you may be considering. I have responded to many incidents, and I can assure you no one comes even close to being able to fill McRae's shoes and be your county emergency management coordinator. And my third question, since you have voted to give Larry McRae a 30-day notice of termination, when is that final day? Per his contract as the county emergency management coordinator, he is to receive an official written 30-day notice of termination. And as of Friday, June 23rd, he has not received any such written notice. And my final comment is this. Texas Statute Government Code Title 4, Subtitle B, Chapter 418, Section 1015 states, the emergency management coordinator of the city is appointed by its mayor, and the emergency management coordinator of the county is appointed by the county judge. And pardon my humor, but a commissioner's court could elect Mickey Mouse as its emergency management coordinator, but it's up to the judge. So your motion to remove Larry McRae is technically illegal and should be considered null and void. Appointment and or removal of its emergency management coordinator is not up to the court, but the judge. So with that, I challenge Judge Cooper with this. Are you going to be persuaded by a couple of misguided commissioners? Or are you going to do what's in the best interest for the citizens of Titus County? Because you campaigned on it. And this keep the best qualified person as your emergency management coordinator. I thank you for allowing me time to address you on this important issue and sincerely hope you will reconsider your recent decision to remove Larry McRae as your emergency management coordinator. I am sure the citizens are also hoping for the same. Thank you.
I'm going to speak, and then I'm going to let them speak, and then I'll be back to speak again. First of all, I want to be quite understood. We're not debating his qualifications, not in the least. Larry McRae has done a good job for us. His ability to communicate with me as a judge and my commissioners is our problem here today. It says in his contract that he will keep the county judge, the county commissioners appraised and prepared in the status of the emergency management needs. I've met with Larry one time in 6 months, and I understand I've just been here 6 months. But with that being said, it is my decision at the end of the day. You're exactly right. But I'm running this court a little different than it has been in the past. I'm here for all the Titus County citizens. I'm here for all of my commissioners. The reason that I did bring it to a vote between my commissioners is we work together. I'm not a dictator, and I do have the final decision, but that would be a vendetta if there's one person wanting him fired. It's not one person. We felt like that we should move on. Also, we're supposed to be a prepared and maintained resource inventory. I do not have that in my office to this day, just 6 months. Also, it's supposed to have a coordinated local plan for the maintenance of the county-wide emergency plan. I do not have that in my office. There's a hazard mitigation plan that expired in 2022, which affects our water grants and any grants that we might have with any of our volunteer fire departments that I do not have in my office today. The emergency operation plan expires in 2025. That's still a few years off, but I do not have a copy of that in my office today as we do speak. So that's one of the reasons that we move forward. And when you talk about it being a conflict of interest, I still feel like it's a conflict of interest, Wendell. And the reason being, the fire department budget is a little over $4 million. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Is that right, Ed? Right around $4 million, which the county pays $1.3 million. If something happens in the city and something in the county, where will Larry McRae be? I'm going to say he's going to be in the city because they're paying him a little over $3 million. That's where I would be if that's the money I was getting. And so that's the reason that they're moving that. We want to get emergency manager in plan. I have interviewed a few. Rumors are crazy, and you can hear all kinds of things about rumors. I'm interviewing folks now. It will be a qualified person that takes this position. It will not be a disqualified person at all. We want to work with the city of Mount Pleasant with that, and then that way we've got 2 emergency managers that could work together and make Titus County better and not separating us. And then that way, if we put our sources together, we're a whole lot better. And so that's where I came from, and the reason that I did ask the commissioners for their opinion on it, and the letter has not been sent, and it will not be sent to Larry, it will be sent to Ed Thatcher, the city manager, when that is done. And so I'm going to let y'all speak, and then I can close.
I'd say you said it well said.
Jeff?
I have no comment.
That's right. Jim?
I still say that it's something that we don't need to do. I've been on many instances myself with Larry. There's nobody that does anything any better than what he does, and he's dedicated to his job, and I appreciate him for what he's done, and we'll stand behind him 100%.
Once again, I don't believe that we're debating his qualifications or his job. It's just communication skills with the commissioners is what my problem is.
I mean, you've said you've only been in office 6 months, okay, and you haven't received these things. Has this been reiterated with Larry to get these to you?
Once again, I haven't spoke with Larry.
Do what?
I haven't spoke with Larry.
You haven't spoken with him?
One time in my office.
Yeah.
So, back to these rumors. Facebook, this, that, and other.
I'm talking. You said you haven't got this.
I haven't got this, I have not got the hazardous mitigation program, which was expired in 2022, which is before I came into office, and it's not in my office. And that's going to affect the water district and a lot of different other things as well.
I just think,
Anybody else would like to speak that's in the audience? Yes, sir. You'll just state, yes, come to the podium and state your name, would be great.
Good morning. My name is Steve Bolster. I live out in Cookville, 1231 County Road. I have enormous respect for the firefighters that we have in this community. I've seen out in Cookville that we have volunteers that show up for anything. We have fires that get out of hand with neighbors, and I've actually seen some impressive equipment that shows up to battle these fires. So it's everyone dropping everything to come help a neighbor is extremely important. I've been here for 9 years, going on 10, living in the woods. So I've only seen and heard of this situation from a peripheral standpoint. However, I was here in December when there were issues of the funding going back and forth between the county as well as the city. I will tell you, I'm from Washington, D.C., but I married a Texas girl, so hopefully I have a little bit of street cred with fitting in and assimilating. And I'm very proud of my wife. She was actually a Bush 43 appointee, later became career for the federal government, but she was on part of the federal continuation of operations for the federal government. This was post 9/11. What that meant is, in the event of something awful happening in this country, she got flown away to a place that I didn't know where she got flown away, and she spent the weekend doing FEMA activities. But the one thing that I did learn from her is that Chief McRae, he's done a stellar job managing the emergency preparedness of the Titus County. And I understand you folks may have your communication issues. However, I'd like to throw it a different direction. What is the succession plan? That is, if you have one man in charge of the entire Titus County and city, what is the succession plan? I would suggest that he's done a wonderful job, but I would suggest that it would be good to have someone come on, be able to mentor with this gentleman, so that now you have two people that are focused on the safety for not only the city of Mount Pleasant, but for the county. Because if we're relying on one person, I think that poses an incredible risk, and God forbid anything should happen to the gentleman. I don't want that to happen, but by the same token, there needs to be a succession plan if you are going to run a county this large. And it should be done together with the city and the county. Should be working together. That's all I have.
We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
But, you know, we've never had any problem getting all of our stuff in, and until just here recently. And, you know, but I just think it needs to, he does his job, and, you know, he does it well. But he needs to, you know, turn in his paperwork like he used to. Because, you know, it costs us, you know, could cost us grants and all that.
Okay. Well, we'll move on to agenda number 5. Consider and possibly approve the accepting of a proposed service provided Fire International not to exceed $30,000 within 60 days. Okay.
Good morning, Judge,
Morning.
Commissioners. My name is Jeff Clifton. I'm with Fire Department International. And first and foremost, thank you guys very, very much for letting us be here today. Just a quick bit of background for Fire Department International. I'm the owner and founder. We started in 2004. I've been in the fire service since about the late 80s. Right now, Fire Department International has about 250 clients in 20 countries on 5 continents. We have a huge presence here in Texas. We're based out of Fort Worth. Personally, I have been a volunteer firefighter for about 20 years, give or take. And I'm also took early retirement from the Fort Worth Fire Department, where I was there for about 15 years. What we do is consult, and what we're proposing for Titus County is looking and taking a detailed assessment of what you're currently getting, what the county residents are getting. This is strictly county, what the county's getting, and offer options for different levels of service that you guys can take a look at that are within the budget that's set forth by the judge and the commissioners. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we have to offer. We have been doing this for a long time. The last one was in Burke-Burnett about 18 months ago. So.
There, Jeff, in Burke-Burnett, y'all still work with the volunteer fire departments closely as well, is that not correct?
Yes, as a matter of fact, weekly.
Okay.
Yeah, we have different contracts set up. The closest one that we actually have set up, and I'll be visiting with them probably in about 6 or 8 weeks. I have to check my schedule. Is C5 and New Boston, just not too far from here. So they've been our clients for a long time. We do consulting and training with their departments. So we have a big training division. We set up training for departments all over the world.
Any questions, Jeff? Jody? Any questions for me?
No, I don't have no questions.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to accept this for this training and all of this
Basically, what this would be, it'd be them giving us a plan of 4 different ways that we could go with the fire department if need be, and all budgeted out. And then it'll do an assessment of what we get, what we've got in the county, and what fires are taken care of there in the county. So got a motion by Commissioner Mitchell to make contract with FD International.
Second.
Got a second by Commissioner Applewhite. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I abstain.
Jimmy abstains. So, number 6, consider and possibly approve up to $1,000 in the budget for awards recognition for civic and other organized projects with an intent to raise awareness in the community and also create goodwill for the community, and to be decided at the discretion. What this is when we have local heroes or something like that do something good for the county. Last year we brought Kincaid Kenry home from the NFR with our fire department's help and also the sheriff's department's help, and carried him all the way to his house. I'd like to just have some type of plaque or award or something of that nature that we can give those, and not a whole lot of money there, but just if we need something there, like the city does, and I've done for the county here the last few months.
Make that motion.
Got that motion by Commissioner Applewhite.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor? Aye. Carries unanimously. Number 7, consider and possibly approve extending temporary seasonal help from 29 hours per week up to 50 hours per week through the disaster declaration.
There's one thing I got to say about that. Instead of 50 hours, it'd be 40 hours a week.
40 hours.
And the reason why is because I can work these guys as temporary help a whole lot cheaper than I could hire more people or or pay comp time or anything. And that's just through this disaster, cleaning up trees, and that's what that's all about.
And I believe we've got a phone call into TAC in our lawyer system, is that correct?
We haven't got a phone call yet.
Hadn't got a call.
This is a federal issue, and so what we can't go 50 hours. I say we need to go 40, and then if we hear from TAC, we may have to change some of that.
Okay.
The law is.
Well, we don't want to be nothing wrong. I mean,
So we need to set a date. They said, they're talking to the lawyers, they said that because it is a
Disaster.
that we need to set a date of how long it can be or ever.
right, just the 30 days that we renewed our disaster is plenty.
And I
Yes,
think 30 days is what
yeah,
and if I hear otherwise, I'll let you know, but we're
Right.
going 30 days, no longer than 30 days to work 40 hours.
right.
Why don't we take a motion on that with the understanding that if we do hear from TAC, that will certainly change, and that way we can get the roads and all cleaned up. I feel like we will get some disaster relief from the federal government for the cleanup of our roads and stuff, but just in case, I still want our employees paid for the hard work that they've been doing. For those that hadn't been out in the middle of the night, have been out with electricity or whatnot, these guys as men have been out moving trees in the middle of the night, working all night long, and doing a great job of cleaning Titus County back up for us, and we certainly appreciate them, and they need to be paid for their efforts, and so I can make the motion to approve that. If I can get a second.
I'll second.
Got a second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 8, consider and possibly approve the payout of comp time wages for those who have accumulated hours over the allotted 60 hours of comp time during the disaster relief area.
I know we've accumulated quite a bit, and all my guys probably exceed 100 hours plus after this, working this last deal on disaster and everything. And you really can't take off. You know, if they take off, that's fine, but, can't let all of them off.
Oh,
But
you wouldn't have no help.
But it's going to take, most of it's going to be, they'll use it in the wintertime for hunting and all that. But as much as we got, I just don't see, how we can, use it all up between now and, I guess, when is it, Barbara, the end of December? Like I said, most of them going to have 150 hours over.
So 60 would be kind of half of that in pay and then half in comp time?
How many you got?
I don't know, Jimmy.
Mine don't have very many. They usually take theirs pretty quick. So I think I looked a while ago on the timesheets, and I think there was one that had 57.
So really not going to affect your,
So it's under the 60, huh?
yours is under 60 already.
Yeah.
The other commissioners.
All of mine's under 60, but the only reason why is because I had the temporary seasonal helping, and I've kept them low. But
I'm sorry.
I was just leaning back, see if Jeff had anything. You got anything on that, Jeff, with yours?
No, I have several of them that are over there that we need to back in front of them.
Barbara?
My suggestion is that we look at the hours that they worked from, I believe it's June the 15th, when that first happened up in the northern part of the county, and consider paying those overtime hours, because the other time that they have was time that they approved before this last major storm.
Okay.
You always have that throughout the course of every year. So from June 14th forward, and pay whatever those hours are, if that's applicable.
Okay. Also on that, some of the different commissioners sent their men to different commissions. It's not just their own time that they sent to the north, and Jody sent some of his guys out there. That's why I like our commissioners. We all try to work together, and if one of us is down on one side of the county, we're going to have our help from the other sides. And so whatever that is, anything over that 60 hours, I think we should go ahead and pay and get those cleared up. And Jimmy, yours may be more after this 2-week pay period with that disaster, because y'all work all night Friday night.
Yeah.
So some of those hours should be close to over that?
Yeah, some of it should be. It will be over then.
Okay. So let's go back to that June 14th day, and the disaster is still going forward from right now. So Probably going to be another week or so at least till we get all the roads cleared up before I call that off. So let's.
We need to consider that for the sheriff's office or any other departments within the county. I
don't think they had any extra overtime just for that. So just for the county commissioner's hands. Get a motion for that.
I make a motion to pay over 60 hours comp time.
Okay, got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell to pay those over 60 hours.
Second.
Got a second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 9, consider and possibly approve the using of $4,447 surplus in the budget from the purchase of the 2024 Mack truck approved on April the 10th, 2023, budgeted for $135,000 with actual cost of $130,553 to purchase a wet tank for running the hydraulics. One of you commissioners want to talk about that wet tank?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. What this was, we had the truck didn't cost us as much as they told us it'd make us, but we also have, I've got a price on that, and the cost of the wet tank's going to be $7,850, but we can use that we saved on that to go forward to that. And
so, Barbara, how do we need to set that up with that $4,447 towards that $7,000?
can take care of that within the budget, but how are we going to split the difference between those two numbers? Each commissioner's going to pay 25%?
It is a community truck, right?
That's fine.
I'm in a fine with splitting it all 4 ways unless y'all are.
that's fine.
The difference will be split by the four different commissioners.
To your standard budgets or to the former American Rescue Plan budget?
Whatever we got to do.
It's just
The rescue budget will be fine.
Because this truck will last us a long time.
Okay.
Well, the reason why we had, the way everything is nowadays, you can't get a price. We ordered this truck a long time ago, and we couldn't get an exact price on it. And we saved money on the truck, but it's going to cost, because without a wet tank, you can't run no
End up. The end up won't
or
work without
any
the
kind of
wet tank.
hydraulic deal
Yeah,
that you got on it. It's for hydraulics on the thing. And they don't come with a hydraulic on them. You have to put that extra
Okay.
on a haul truck.
So we got a motion made by that?
Make a motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite,
Second.
second by Commissioner Parker. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 10, approve the oral and written reports from the county officials.
Make that motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve them.
Second.
Got a second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 11, consider and possibly accept the treasurer's report as a matter of the record.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Got a motion by Commissioner Parker,
Second.
second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Number 12 on the agenda item is approved budget amendments. Ms. Barber?
We have two budget amendments, number 28 and 29. The items in number 28 are from the June 12th Commissioners meeting. It's the part-time county clerk and related benefits at a cost of $5,683 from general contingency, and then a $10,000 increase in use of general contingency for the legal assistance with potential solid waste ordinance. Those are the two things that were approved in the last Commissioners Court. For budget amendment number 29, we have a request for increased travel for the county extension agent. One of our agents has been selected as a director to this area, from this area to the state of Texas for training for next year's national conference that will be held in Texas. So she's requested $1,200 that would come from general contingency. The tax assessor collector needs an increase to travel of $410, but she's offsetting that with reduced costs within her office for office expense. As you know, travel has gotten more expensive. Everything's more expensive. For precinct 3, it's an increase to gravel and rock with a decrease to road oil. Again, it's just a line item change, same as the tax assessor collector. And then precinct 4, it's $1,500 to miscellaneous and a decrease to other road materials for chainsaw repairs and things like that related to the storm. The last item here is for the sheriff's office. A few months ago, we approved a change to where the jail com revenue goes. It no longer goes to commissary, it comes to the county budget, and then those items are used for inmate needs. And this is just an increase to that budget and offsetting use of those funds for inmate needs.
Get a motion.
Sheriff's aware of all that. There's no-
Motion to approve those amendments.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Commissioner Applewhite to approve those budget amendments.
Second.
Got a second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Number 13, sign pay orders and approve our payments.
Make a motion with pay our bills.
Jimmy makes a motion. Parker? Oh, get a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Closing comments. Jeff, you have anything today?
I just want to say back on Chief McRae's deal, I have no doubt that he is a highly qualified individual for this job, but like Dana said, I have a problem with him not turning in all his paperwork and communicating with us as a county. And I feel like he is anti-volunteer fire department. I feel like he doesn't support our volunteer fire departments, and I feel like he's the reason that Winfield was on the chopping block in Sugar Hill, and if we wouldn't have stepped in, then they all would have been following suit. So that's my problem with what's going on right now.
Thank you, Jeff. Commissioner Applewhite.
I'd just like to appreciate all the help that we got this week or last week when we had all the trees down, and appreciate everybody coming to our precinct and helped us. And like I said, that's the way we should help each other out. That way we won't get nobody hurt being out there so long. And yeah, appreciate the good job y'all did.
Jim?
Got the same thing Dana's got. I appreciate everybody coming and helping us. We spent 16 hours out last Thursday night and all day Friday, and my guys, well, I mean, we didn't quit to eat or anything. Did run to town and get them a bite of something to eat up about mid-morning, and we worked right on through, and they never questioned or anything. I appreciate those guys and the guys that came to help us and all too.
Like I said, I'd like to reiterate that with all the commissioners and their hands and everything that they did to get our roads cleaned up, electrical people coming in and getting our electricity back on for us. We are under a heat advisory in Titus County, records up in the 109s, 110s, so we want everybody to be careful on that. Make sure your hands are getting plenty of water, and like I said, we do appreciate them coming out and taking care of our disaster for us. Out in the middle of the night, cutting trees down is not the best thing. Yes,
I've
Jeff?
got one other thing too. I'd like to thank the volunteer fire departments that was out in our area too. We Nortex. There were several guys from Nortex and some other places that came out, and there was a lot of citizens that was out helping us too. And I'd just like to say I appreciate them, appreciate their help.
That's back to Titus County, and Titus County being for Titus County, and we certainly appreciate our citizens and people.
Tri-Water called me and asked if they need help. They had backhoes, and Marcus Carlock, he'd offered. I do appreciate them for acknowledging, Marcus, he, a lot of people still stepped up to the plate. We had a lot of damage.
Lots of damage. Bear with them, trying to get those, a lot of it's just pushed off the roads. As soon as it gets a little better, cools down a little bit, they'll be trying to get that cleaned up. I haven't got a whole lot of complaints. Hopefully everybody understands that they're doing the best that they can under the circumstances, and appreciate those gentlemen being out in the middle of the night taking care of our citizens. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Got a motion by Commissioner Applewhite to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor? Aye.